So I was talking a lot of smack about Hung Vanngo's new release of monochromatic eyeshadow palettes in my previous video, but $300 later, I'm gonna try them out for myself. I got all the colorful ones. I think I just skipped the peachy one. We have the composed cools. We have the brilliant blues. We have the generous greens and yellow. We have the passionate purple, which I think is gonna be a favorite. And then I really surprised myself and I got the new neutrals because I figured I really wanted to try his formula, so I couldn't stop myself. Also, this would be a great companion palette for all of the more monochromatic, colorful palettes. And then lastly, the rebellious reds and pink. Now, right away, these already look different than the product photos. In my original video, I was complaining about the undertones of the palette being kind of repetitive, but I'm seeing a lot more nuance in person, especially in the colorful ones. Like this purple is kind of desaturated and muted, but in a really beautiful, high fashion way. This definitely stands apart from other purple palettes in my collection. We're getting we're getting lilac denim-y shades. Also really exciting, the shimmers in here, which I thought were sort of dull in the product photos, are showing a lot of dimensional sparkle in person. This blue is probably one of the more exciting ones. This shade is like electric, and all of the undertones of the blues are very different. We have like a turquoise, a bright cobalt, like a sky blue, and then canary egg blue. This is a made in Italy formula. The packaging is a soft matte, but it feels different than other soft matte palettes, like compared to NARS, which NARS tends to get dirty really quickly and sort of scratch and scuff. This seems like a truly rubberized component. I even tried like scratching the back with my fingernail and it didn't make a mark. So I think this is a more durable material. I just dropped it, but she's okay. Then this palette, I complained that there were too many like dark tones and repetitive depth of tone, which I kind of feel the same way, but like these two shades look very similar. But let's go ahead and do swatches. The greens first. I'm just gonna do finger swatches. Ooh, it feels kind of silky. I'm really excited about the shimmers because they have so much sparkle in them. The mattes definitely feel creamy. This is the top row of the green palette. Those metallics have a nice glistening sheen to them, like a pearlescent shiny base, but with the flecks of multicolored shimmer. Let's see if you can get up close. It's hard to see under the beauty lights, but they feel very thin, like it won't crepe up on the eyelids, especially this shade. You could just see how like pearlescent and glistening that is. Really pretty. I think it's a better representation seeing my fingertips. I'll do the second row right underneath. Right away, this seems like more of a buildable formula, especially for the mattes. Pigmented, but the pickup and the payoff from one swipe is not super intense. The matte formula feels unique. It has like an emollient quality to it. It really grips the skin. That's the second row on the bottom. So the shimmers are much more sheer. There's two shimmers on the bottom, kind of like a chartreuse, like lemon shade, and then you get two darker greens. But see how like the edges of the mattes, like the darker mattes, they sort of bleed out into like a different color. That's very interesting. Where I first laid it down with the swatch, it's darker, but then the edges sort of buff out to like a lighter color. That's a testament to the emolliency of the formula. But comment if you want to see me do looks tomorrow. I'm sure I will. But right now, I didn't really feel like filming today, to be honest, but I wanted to introduce the palettes and do my first impressions. So that's the green palette. Let's just grab a random one. This is the purple palette. I'm excited for this. Ooh, the mattes feel like, they feel velvety. The mattes feel velvety. Like even when you touch the mattes, they leave like a finger mark in them. They definitely have a cream-like quality to them. I'm not gonna be crazy with the swatches. I'm just gonna do like one finger dip and then I'm not gonna build it up. Okay, this is the top row of the purple palette. This shade is really pretty. It has this blue shift to it. It's like this periwinkle, really pretty. That is on my fingertips. Look at that color. Do the second row. This really doesn't remind me of any other formula I've ever felt before. The mattes are very pillowy. Okay, that's the second row. There's actually only one true shimmer in the second row. This one is like a weird matte with shimmer in it, which didn't really swatch well. You hear the pans after they've been swatched. This shade was a little bit strange. Next is the new neutrals. That's the first row. Way more impactful, especially with the shimmer. This shade is almost the color of my skin, but the metallics have a lot of impact. That's the second row. And on my fingertips, I'm really impressed with the shimmers in this palette because they're just one swipe, very dense, very opaque. And so far, my impression of the mattes overall is quite impressed. They're a unique satin, very creamy formula, like borderline almost feels like a cream. They're not just performing creamy, they feel like they have emollients in them. That's what the pans look like. You could see how the mattes are taking the fingerprints like they're creams. Two of the shimmers in this palette do look pretty similar though. This one and that one, they have like a subtle undertone difference. You can see how already how the packaging might get dirty. I don't know if that'll get clean. It doesn't really bother me, but I know it bothers some people. Okay, we only have two, I don't even know what we have left. Okay, this is the pinks, the rebellious reds and pinks. Funny because there's really only one true red in here, but I mean, you only really need, how many red eyeshadows do you really need? Ooh. But so far, Hung's interpretation of monochromatic color is very wearable and high fashion. First row, again, we're getting a really cool pink lilac shift. That's on my fingers. That's the second row. So we're seeing I was definitely proven wrong from the product photos. There's definitely subtle variations in undertone between the shades. That's on my fingertips. This formula would be great for more mature skin that wants to play with color and monochromatic looks with a formula that's going to be forgiving on mature skin. You're definitely getting a $49 formula in these palettes. That's what the pan looks like. The Compose Cool. This is the first row. You're getting a cool like champagne-y, slightly warm tone silver. Some like pewter shades. Second row. Look at how dark that black is. That was a very dense, creamy black shade. That would be great for a smoky liner. Look at how it like swiped off completely from my finger. That's what the pan looks like. Even though there is some redundancy in these mid-tone shades that I complained about, they do look like very pretty shades and useful. This has like some olive taupey tones to it, and the other two just have like slight shifts in undertone. One's more blue and then one's more neutral. So they would be very useful for a smoky eye. Last but definitely not least, the blue. That's the first row, really pigmented. This shade feels different than the other matte. It's more dry, but extremely silky. Then this one is that creamy matte that I'm experiencing and enjoying. Then this one is dry again. And then this is a beautiful metallic that you can see has a great shift to it. That's the second row. I'm loving the bottom row. This is a really beautiful peacock blue, really dense with like a subtle satin metallic sheen to it. Then this color is just like an electric sky blue. It's gorgeous. These two shades, this shade and that shade are just so electric. It's on my fingers. You can see how metallic that shade is. This is the pans. Overall, I'm most excited about the blue palette because there's just some really gorgeous, bright, really unique shades in here. So drop a comment. Let me know which palette you want me to do a look with on the eyes first, because I can't really decide. They're really all beautiful. I think I'm most excited about definitely the blue palette, but I also want to get into the purple palette. I want to get into this black to smoke at the lash line at the very least. And honestly, I threw this in my cart last second just for science, but these neutrals are it's a very like unique tone. It's giving very caramel camel. I usually veer away from palettes like this, so maybe that's why it's so like refreshing to me. But the way that these metallics swatched was just really delicious. Like I definitely want to get into these transition shades right here. This would be gorgeous to do a neutral lid on the top and then do a pop of color with one of the other palettes on the bottom lid. It's my favorite way to use color. But drop a comment. I'll do whatever palette first that you guys want to see. Drop a comment, a follow, a like. Bye.